I want to start today by speaking to the heart of what's truly happening right now in your life. It might not be visible to the naked eye, but there is something powerful at work that is about to reshape everything you thought you knew about where you're headed. You've been through struggles. You've faced setbacks, obstacles, and perhaps even failures. But I want you to know something profound. God is about to make your next move unstoppable. And that's not just a statement. It's a declaration, one that carries weight in the spiritual realm. When we talk about God making our next move unstoppable, it's not about some magic formula or a quick fix to our problems. It's about understanding that there's a divine alignment happening, an alignment between your purpose, your persistence, and God's provision. Every step you've taken, every lesson you've learned, every moment you've endured has been preparing you for this very moment. Let's think for a second about what it means to be unstoppable. To be unstoppable isn't just about pushing through obstacles. It's about being in a place where the very forces that once hindered you now fuel your forward momentum. It's about standing on the edge of greatness, knowing that nothing can hold you back, not the past, not the fears, not the doubts, and certainly not the mistakes you've made along the way. Now, why is this the right time? You might be asking that, and I don't blame you. The truth is, it's the right time because of the way God works. There are seasons in life. There are moments when things align, when all the factors come together in a way that cannot be ignored. It's in these moments that the potential for greatness, for breakthrough, for the impossible to become possible is realized. And right now, you are in one of those moments. You may not see it yet, but I promise you, something is stirring. There are things in motion that are far beyond your understanding. It's like a storm quietly forming in the distance, building, growing, and about to unleash its full power. But this isn't a destructive storm. This is a storm of blessing, of opportunities, of new beginnings. God is making a way for you, and your next move is going to be unstoppable. I want you to think about the times in your life when you felt like you couldn't go any further. Maybe there were times when you felt like giving up was the only option. Maybe you've even asked God, where are you in all of this? I get it. We've all been there. But here's what I want you to understand. Those moments weren't signs of failure. They were moments of preparation. God has been using every disappointment, every roadblock, and every heartache as part of a bigger plan. He's been using those very things to sharpen you, to develop your character, to make you stronger for what's ahead. See, God doesn't waste anything. He doesn't allow us to go through pain without purpose. There's a divine reason behind everything, even the things we don't understand. So when you look back at your life, when you look at all the moments that you thought were setbacks, I want you to see them through the lens of what they've made you into. They've made you resilient. They've made you wiser. They've made you stronger. Now, I'm here to tell you that all that preparation is about to pay off in ways you can't yet comprehend. The struggles you've faced have not been in vain. The perseverance you've shown will now serve as the foundation for your breakthrough. The prayers you've whispered in the quiet moments, the faith you've held on to even when it felt like the world was against you, all of it is going to come together in a way that will blow your mind. God is about to elevate you to places you've only dreamed of. You've been faithful with the little things, and now He's ready to bless you with more. But here's the catch. You have to believe it. You have to receive it. You have to step into it. This moment isn't just a wish. It's a promise. But it's a promise that requires you to move. I know what you're thinking. What if I fail again? What if I make the wrong move? What if it doesn't work out? I've heard those thoughts before, and I understand them. But let me tell you something important. Fear has no place where God is leading you. Every time you let fear control your decisions, you step back from what God has in store for you. But when you move forward in faith, you unlock doors that no man can shut. Remember, God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. It's not about having all the answers. It's not about knowing every detail of the plan. It's about having the courage to take the next step, to trust in the divine timing, and to move forward despite the uncertainties. Your next move is not going to be unstoppable because of your own strength, but because of the strength God is pouring into you right now. Now, I want to challenge you to think bigger, Too often, we limit ourselves by thinking too small. We base our expectations on past experiences, on things that we've already seen happen. But God wants to do something bigger than you could ever imagine. He wants to blow your expectations out of the water. The next move He's preparing for you is beyond anything you've already experienced. So get ready, because it's going to take you to heights that you've never reached before. What does that look like in practical terms? Well, it could mean a promotion at work, a new business venture, a deeper relationship with your loved ones, or a calling to step into a ministry you never thought possible. But whatever it is, know that this move is going to be unstoppable because it is divinely orchestrated. God is clearing the way for you. He's removing barriers. He's opening doors that no one can close. But here's the thing. You have to be willing to walk through those doors. God will make a way, but you have to have the courage to take the first step. Don't wait for the conditions to be perfect, because they never will be. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity, because God doesn't always work in perfect timing. He works in divine timing, and that's what's happening right now. Your divine moment is here. As you move forward, remember that you are not alone. God is with you. He is guiding you. And when God is for you, who can be against you? Nothing will be able to stop the move He's about to make in your life. No enemy, no circumstance, no limitation can stand in the way of God's plan for you. Let's talk about the importance of the mindset. Unstoppable isn't just about action, it's about perspective. If you approach this next season with the mindset that it's going to fail, it likely will. But if you approach it with the mindset that God is in control, that He is orchestrating everything for your good, then nothing can shake your confidence. You have to believe, deeply and fully, that this is your time, that God is moving in your favor, and that this next move is unstoppable. And what happens when your move is unstoppable? You become a living testimony of God's power. People will look at your life and say, how did that happen? How did they go from where they were to where they are now? And your answer will be simple. It was God. It was all God. So as you stand at the threshold of this new season, I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel encouraged. Your next move isn't just a possibility, it's a certainty. God is about to make it unstoppable. It's time to rise. It's time to step into the fullness of what God has for you. It's time to believe that the best is yet to come, and that your next move will be the one that changes everything. Are you ready? Are you willing to take the leap? Because God is ready, and He's already gone ahead of you, preparing the way. When we look back on our lives, it's easy to focus on the setbacks, the failures, and the moments when everything seemed to go wrong. We often find ourselves questioning why certain things happened, wondering if we could have avoided the pain, the hurt, or the struggle. But what if I told you that those moments, those very struggles, were not in vain? What if I told you that they were part of a much bigger plan? That every trial, every setback, and every challenge has been intentionally used to shape you into the person you are becoming? God, in His infinite wisdom, doesn't waste a single moment of your life. Each hardship, each failure, and each moment of struggle has been part of the preparation for what's to come. You may not have understood it at the time, but every obstacle you faced was a stepping stone, leading you to a place of greater strength, resilience, and wisdom. The truth is, we often grow the most, not in our moments of success, but in our moments of adversity. Think about a piece of coal. Alone, it's just a rock, but under the right amount of pressure and time, it transforms into a diamond. The pressure doesn't break it. It refines it, strengthens it, and ultimately reveals something more beautiful and valuable than it could have ever been on its own. Your struggles are much like that pressure. They are refining you, making you into something greater than you were before. God has been using every challenge you've faced as a means of developing your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for the greatness He has in store. Each failure you experienced taught you something you couldn't have learned in success. Each disappointment gave you the tools to navigate the future with wisdom. Every closed door made you more determined, teaching you how to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seemed unclear. It's often in our hardest moments that we are forced to rely more deeply on God's strength. In the midst of those struggles, we come face to face with our limitations. We realize that we can't do it all on our own, and that's when God steps in. It's in those moments of surrender, when we realize we need him more than anything, that he starts to do his greatest work in us. He begins to transform our weaknesses into strengths, our doubts into faith, and our fears into courage. The challenges you faced have also made you wiser. Think about how much you've learned along the way. You've gained insights about yourself, about the world around you, and about how to navigate life's difficulties. These lessons are not just for you. They are part of your preparation for what's to come. Each lesson equips you to handle the blessings and responsibilities that God is about to pour into your life. You won't just be stepping into a season of success. You'll be stepping into it with the wisdom to manage it, the resilience to face new challenges, and the grace to lead others along the way. In addition to making you wiser, these struggles have also made you more resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to keep going even after you've been knocked down. It's the strength to rise again after you've fallen, the courage to try again after you've failed. God has been building this resilience in you, piece by piece, throughout every hardship. And now, because of everything you've been through, you are more capable of handling whatever comes next. When you encounter new challenges, and you'll approach them with a new sense of confidence and determination. You'll know that no matter what happens, you are equipped to face it and overcome it. But resilience isn't just about endurance. It's about growth. Every setback and obstacle you've faced has caused you to evolve. You are no longer the person you were when you first began this journey. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. And the reason you're able to handle more now is because you've been prepared for it. God has allowed you to go through these seasons not to punish you, but to refine you. He has been carefully crafting you, shaping you into someone who can stand firm in the face of adversity and still continue to move forward. The purpose of these struggles is not to make you bitter or to break you, but to shape you into the person who can step into your next season with confidence. Each struggle has been a lesson, each challenge a preparation for what's to come. And now, as you approach the next chapter of your life, you will do so not just with the wisdom and resilience that these struggles have given you, but with a deeper understanding of who you are in God's eyes. You are stronger than you realize. The battles you've fought, the tears you've cried, the prayers you've whispered, they have all been part of a process that is leading you to something greater. And while the road may have been difficult, you are now better equipped for the journey ahead. God has been preparing you all along, and everything you've been through has been shaping you into the person He always intended for you to be. So as you step into the next season of your life, remember that your struggles weren't in vain. They were part of the preparation. The obstacles you faced have made you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And now, as you stand on the threshold of greatness, you can walk forward knowing that you are more than ready for what lies ahead. God has been preparing you for this moment, and with every step you take, He is walking with you. One of the most challenging aspects of life is waiting. We often find ourselves impatient, wondering when things will happen, when our prayers will be answered, or when that breakthrough will finally arrive. We look around at the people around us and see their lives moving forward, and it's easy to feel like we're being left behind. We may even start to question God's plan for our lives, asking ourselves, why is this taking so long? Why haven't things fallen into place yet? But what we sometimes fail to realize is that God's timing is perfect, and His plans for us are unfolding exactly as they should. In the midst of the waiting, there is something powerful at work. There is a divine alignment taking place, even when we can't see it. The pieces of your life are falling into place at precisely the right time, in a way that only God can orchestrate. It's not by chance, not by accident, but by divine design. What you might see as delays, setbacks, or detours are actually part of a bigger plan that is being carefully crafted for you. Every season, every moment is leading to a specific breakthrough that will come at just the right time. Think about the way a master craftsman works. When creating a masterpiece, the artist doesn't rush the process. Every stroke, every cut, and every decision is made with precision and purpose. Likewise, God is working behind the scenes in your life, aligning the events, the people, and the circumstances in such a way that everything will come together perfectly. It may not make sense to you right now, but trust that God is working in ways that transcend your understanding. This divine alignment often requires patience, something we all struggle with. We may feel like we're doing everything right, checking all the boxes, and yet nothing seems to move forward. It can feel discouraging, like we're stuck in one place, while the world around us is moving at a faster pace. But this is where faith plays a critical role. God is not bound by time in the way we are. What feels like a delay to us is actually God's timing at work. There are lessons that need to be learned, relationships that need to be built, and doors that need to be opened before the right opportunity can present itself. In fact, when things do fall into place, it will be clear to you that it was all part of a bigger plan. The people you meet, the experiences you have, the opportunities that come your way, all of them are perfectly aligned with God's purpose for you. They are not random. They are part of a carefully designed sequence that will lead to your breakthrough. And when that moment finally arrives, you will see just how much thought and care God has put into each step of your journey. This is the beauty of divine timing. It's not about forcing things to happen or rushing ahead because we feel like we're behind. It's about trusting that God has a plan for us that is far greater than anything we could imagine. God's timing doesn't work according to our schedule, but it always works according to what is best for us. Sometimes we need a little more preparation before we step into the fullness of our calling. Sometimes we need to experience certain things, meet certain people, or go through particular seasons of growth before we're ready for the next step. In the Bible, we see countless examples of divine timing at work. Think about the story of Joseph. He had dreams of greatness, but he was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and spent years in prison. It seemed like everything was falling apart, but God was aligning everything for the perfect moment. When the time was right, Joseph was placed in a position of power in Egypt, where he was able to save many lives during a time of famine. His journey wasn't a straight path, but it was divinely orchestrated. Every step, even the painful ones, had a purpose. Similarly, in our own lives, we can often look back and see how everything has come together in unexpected ways. Maybe you didn't get that job you wanted, but then something better came along at the right moment. Maybe a relationship ended, but that allowed space for someone or something even more aligned with your purpose. In hindsight, we can often see that the delays and disappointments were actually part of a much bigger picture that we couldn't see at the time. This is the power of divine timing. It's the assurance that God is not only with us in our waiting, but is actively at work, setting things into motion, preparing us for the next chapter. And when that breakthrough moment comes, it will feel like everything just falls into place, like the puzzle pieces click together effortlessly. That's because everything has been perfectly aligned. Timing, people, opportunities, circumstances, all in a way that we could never have arranged on our own. It's important to remember that our human understanding of time is limited. We live in a world where we are conditioned to expect instant results. We want things to happen quickly, and when they don't, we start to panic or lose hope. But God's timing is not constrained by our immediate desires. He sees the whole picture. He knows what we need, when we need it, and how to get us there. Our job is to trust in His perfect timing, even when it doesn't make sense. And so, if you're feeling like things aren't moving fast enough, or if you're wondering when your breakthrough will come, I want to encourage you today. God is aligning everything in your life for your good. You may not see it now, but the opportunities you're waiting for are on their way. The doors you've been praying for will open at just the right time. Keep your faith strong and your heart open. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, even when you can't see it. Your breakthrough isn't a matter of if, but when. And when it comes, it will be clear to you that it was worth the wait. It will be a testament to the divine timing and perfect alignment of God's plan for your life. So hold on, be patient, and trust the process. Your moment is coming, and it's going to be everything you've been waiting for, and more. Fear has a way of creeping into our hearts and minds at the most inopportune moments. It's a natural response to uncertainty, and yet it's one of the greatest obstacles to achieving the dreams, goals, and purposes that God has placed in our hearts. The truth is, fear often holds us back from the very things we are meant to do. It paralyzes us, keeps us stuck in our comfort zones, and convinces us that we are not capable of moving forward. But here's the reality. When we step forward in faith, fear loses its grip on us. And when fear loses its hold, we begin to activate divine momentum, an unstoppable force that propels us toward the fulfillment of God's purpose in our lives. Faith and fear are like two forces constantly at war within us. Fear tries to convince us of our inadequacy, to remind us of our past failures, and to keep us trapped in a cycle of doubt and insecurity. It says things like, "You're not good enough," or "You failed before. Why would this time be any different?" But faith, on the other hand, is a powerful force that moves us beyond our limitations and into the realm of the impossible. It reminds us that we are more than our past mistakes, that God has already equipped us for what lies ahead, and that He is with us every step of the way. When you choose faith over fear, you are choosing to believe in something greater than yourself. You are choosing to trust in the power and provision of God, knowing that He has already cleared the path for you. No matter how uncertain or difficult the journey may seem, you can rest in the assurance that God's plan for you is unfolding exactly as it should. The fear you feel is real, but it is not the final word. Faith is stronger, and it will carry you through the storm. It's important to understand that fear is not just a mental or emotional obstacle. It has the potential to become a spiritual barrier that keeps us from stepping into the fullness of God's will. Fear tries to convince us that we are too small or too weak to accomplish what we feel called to do. But that's a lie. We are not meant to face our challenges alone. The strength we need to move forward is not of our own making. It comes from God. And when we trust in Him, we begin to see our fear for what it truly is, a challenge to our faith. It's the opportunity to stand firm in what we know to be true, regardless of what our circumstances or emotions may tell us. This is why stepping forward in faith is so powerful. When we act in faith, we are aligning ourselves with the will of God. And when we align ourselves with His will, we activate divine momentum. Think of it like a train. When a train is sitting still, it takes a lot of effort to get it moving. The engine must work hard to overcome the inertia and begin the journey. But once the train is moving, it becomes unstoppable. It gains speed and momentum, and nothing can slow it down. In the same way, when you choose to step forward in faith, you are giving God permission to work in your life. You are opening the door for divine momentum to take over and propel you forward. Easy to think that our progress depends solely on our own abilities, but the truth is that God is the one who makes our next move unstoppable. He's the one who clears the path, who opens doors that no one can close, and who equips us for the journey ahead. But He requires us to move in faith. It's like standing at the edge of a cliff, knowing that God has a safe landing for us, but feeling the fear of jumping. The moment we choose to take that leap of faith, God meets us there with His strength and guidance. We don't have to know how it will all work out. We only need to trust that He will make a way. One of the most powerful stories of faith overcoming fear is found in the Bible when Peter stepped out of the boat to walk toward Jesus on the water. The storm was raging, the waves were high, and everything in Peter's natural mind told him that it was impossible to walk on water. But in that moment, he chose faith over fear. He took the step, and as long as he kept his eyes on Jesus, he was able to walk on the water. It was only when he allowed fear to take over, when he looked at the storm, that he began to sink. This story is a powerful reminder that as long as we keep our focus on Jesus and step out in faith, we can do things that seem impossible. Our faith will override our fear, and we will begin to walk in the power and momentum that God provides. This is the same kind of faith that God is calling you to have in your own life right now. Whatever the challenge is before you, whatever the dream or opportunity seems too big, know that fear has no power over you when you choose to trust in God. The fear that tries to hold you back is not a reflection of your ability, but rather an indication of the greatness that lies ahead. The enemy will always try to use fear to stop you, but you have the power to overcome it by simply stepping forward in faith. When you choose faith over fear, you are declaring that you believe in God's promises more than you believe in your own limitations. You are saying, "I trust that God is in control, that He is faithful, and that He will provide everything I need to move forward. And in doing so, you activate the divine momentum that will carry you through the challenges, the doubts, and the uncertainties. With God's strength, your next move will not only be possible, it will be unstoppable. So don't let fear hold you back any longer. Step forward in faith, knowing that God is with you, empowering you, and guiding you. He has already cleared the path, and your next move will be the one that leads you into your breakthrough. Trust Him, and watch how fear loses its power as His strength carries you to places you've only dreamed of. There is something deeply reassuring in knowing that your life is not a random series of events, but a carefully designed journey that God Himself has orchestrated. When we say God's plan is unstoppable, it's not just a statement of comfort, it's a declaration of divine truth. With God on your side, nothing in this world has the power to derail what He has set in motion for your life. No external force, no mistake you've made, no opposition from others, and no unexpected detour can alter the destination He has prepared for you. His plan is sovereign, powerful, and unstoppable. Life has a way of throwing us into confusion. We face rejection, hardship, and moments of deep disappointment. Sometimes we feel like we're too far behind, like we've missed our chance, or like our past has disqualified us from receiving the future we once hoped for. But here's the truth. There's a profound strength in understanding that God's plan doesn't depend on your perfection. It depends on His promise. Too often we disqualify ourselves based on what we've done or what we didn't do. We think because we made a wrong choice or experienced a painful loss, we're somehow off course. But God's plan is so powerful that even your detours can become part of the journey. He is the only one who can take what the enemy meant for harm and turn it for your good. What looked like a failure can be used as a foundation. What seemed like the end can become the very beginning of something new. When God sets something in motion, it is not fragile or easily broken. It is fortified with His strength and upheld by His promises. His word does not return void. If He has spoken something over your life, it will come to pass in His perfect timing. You may not see how it will happen, but you are not required to see the entire path, just to keep walking in obedience and trust. God's plan is not passive. It is active and alive. It is moving even when you feel stuck, unfolding even when you feel forgotten. Every step you take in faith is aligning you with His divine purpose. There is also a peace that comes with knowing you don't have to fight every battle on your own. God is your defender. He goes before you, clearing the path. He walks beside you, offering strength. And He comes behind you, protecting what you've already built. When He is involved in your plans, you don't need to push doors open. They open by His command. You don't need to chase approval. His favor surrounds you like a shield. You don't need to fear what's ahead because He has already been there. Even when things feel uncertain, even when you face resistance, trust that nothing can block what God has purposed for your life. The enemy may try to delay, distract, or discourage, but he cannot defeat what God has declared. God is not pacing in heaven, wondering how your story ends. He already knows the outcome, and He is working all things together for your good. Think of all the people in the Bible who faced impossible situations. Moses standing before the Red Sea, with Pharaoh's army chasing behind him. David standing before a giant with nothing but a sling and a stone. Esther walking into the king's chamber uninvited to save her people. Every one of them had a moment where fear could have taken over, where the odds looked completely against them. But because God's plan was on their life, nothing could stop them. Seas parted. Giants fell. A nation was saved. That same unstoppable power is working in your life today. God's plan for you is not fragile. It's not easily shaken. It doesn't depend on everything going perfectly. It depends on His sovereignty and your willingness to trust. You don't have to manipulate the outcome or strive to control every detail. Your responsibility is simply to walk in obedience, to keep your heart surrendered, and to remain open to His direction. As you do, He will take care of the rest. You are walking in the steps of a God-ordained purpose. Even the delays are divine. Even the detours are directed. Every time you felt like giving up but didn't. Every time you chose to pray instead of panic, to worship instead of worry. You were aligning yourself more closely with God's unstoppable plan. And because of that, you will see things unfold that you never imagined possible. So walk boldly. Move forward in confidence. Don't let fear or doubt convince you that your story is finished. It's still being written by the author of life himself. What he has started, he will finish. What he has promised, he will fulfill. Your next step is not just a chance. It's a continuation of something unstoppable. With God guiding you, no force in this world has the power to stand in your way. You are not just stepping into your future. You are stepping into a destiny that cannot be denied. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, these are not small things. They are reflections of what you truly believe about yourself, your future, and the God who leads you. When stepping into a new season, especially one where God is about to do something extraordinary, it is absolutely essential that your mindset aligns with His promises. An unstoppable move cannot happen with a hesitant, timid, or fearful outlook. It requires boldness. It demands that you walk into the unknown with a firm belief that you are not walking alone, and that what lies ahead is not random but divinely appointed. There comes a point in your journey where the focus shifts from simply surviving and achieving to fully embracing the reason you were created. It's more than chasing success or building a comfortable life. It's about stepping into your divine calling. That moment when your life begins to align not only with your talents and desires, but with God's ultimate purpose for you. Your next move is not just another chapter. It's a defining moment where you start walking in the very thing you were born to do. And it's in this season that you begin to understand that your life was never meant to be ordinary. It was meant to make an impact. This is not about ego or personal gain. It's about surrendering your plans so that God's plans can be fulfilled through you. It's about recognizing that the gifts, the lessons, the challenges, and even the delays were all building blocks preparing you for something greater. Your calling isn't just something you stumble upon. It's something that begins to reveal itself as you walk in obedience and faith. And now, as God positions you for this next move, you are stepping into a role that is much bigger than your own ambition. God never creates without purpose. Every person has been uniquely designed, gifted, and placed on this earth for a reason. And your calling isn't a mystery reserved for a chosen few. It's something that's been with you all along, waiting to be activated. Sometimes it looks like a career. Sometimes it looks like a ministry, a mission, or a movement. But no matter the form, your calling always involves glorifying God, serving others, and becoming a vessel of hope and transformation. When you step into your calling, you stop simply existing, and you begin to live intentionally, powerfully, and purposefully. As you move forward into this new season, you'll begin to notice things shift. Opportunities that once felt out of reach will begin to open. Connections that seemed unlikely will form. Doors that remained shut will begin to swing wide. But it won't just be about what's happening around you. It will be about what's happening within you. You'll feel a deeper clarity, a stronger conviction, and a sense of alignment that lets you know, this is what I was made for. That's not just momentum, it's divine positioning. And while stepping into your calling is exciting, it's not without challenge. You may be misunderstood. You may be stretched beyond your comfort zone. But that's because God doesn't call you to the easy road. He calls you to the right one. One that demands courage, persistence, and most importantly, trust. Trust that He will give you the strength, wisdom, and provision you need. Trust that He will walk with you every step of the way. Trust that the very same God who called you is the one who will sustain you. As you walk in your calling, your life becomes a testimony, not just to your success, but to God's faithfulness. People will see what He has done through you and begin to believe that He can do the same for them. Your story will inspire others to rise. Your obedience will pave the way for others to find their own purpose. And your willingness to say yes to God will produce fruit that reaches far beyond what you can see. This is not just about you. It's about every person your life will touch as a result of your obedience. In this season, don't downplay what God is doing in your life. Don't second-guess your worth or underestimate your influence. You are being raised up for such a time as this. Your calling isn't waiting in the distance. It's already here. It's in your daily decisions, your quiet moments of faith, your consistent steps of obedience. And as you keep moving forward, you will find yourself walking in the very purpose God designed you for. There's a reason you feel the shift. There's a reason your heart is being stirred and your spirit is being awakened. You're not being pushed. You're being pulled into destiny. Everything you've been through, every tear you've cried, every prayer you've whispered has led to this. The moments that felt like loss were actually pruning. The seasons that felt like silence were seasons of preparation. And now the soil is ready, the timing is right, and the harvest is near. So step forward with boldness. Step forward with faith. This is not just about a new opportunity. It's about a new identity, one that reflects who you truly are in Christ. A vessel of purpose, a carrier of light, a voice of hope. You are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into legacy. And as you do, your life will become living proof that God's plans are always worth the wait. This next move will mark the beginning of something that doesn't just change your story. It will begin to shift the stories of everyone connected to you. Because when one person fully steps into their calling, it creates a ripple effect that can impact generations. That's the power of purpose. Many times we miss out on blessings not because we lack ability, but because we lack the mindset to receive them. We think small. We speak doubt. We expect disappointment. Somewhere along the way, our past failures, rejections, or hardships taught us to expect the worst. But God is calling you to unlearn that pattern. He is asking you to elevate your thoughts and step into this new season with a renewed perspective, one that believes in His abundance, His goodness, and His ability to do exceedingly, abundantly above all you can ask or imagine. A bold mindset begins with what you believe about yourself. You are not average. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are chosen. You are equipped. You are being prepared for a purpose greater than anything you've walked in before. That's not pride. That's truth. It's what happens when your identity is rooted in God, not in your performance or past. A bold mindset says, I may not have all the answers, but I have God, and that's more than enough. The enemy of your soul knows the power of your thoughts. He knows if he can get you to doubt yourself, to shrink back, to delay your decisions, then he can rob you of what God is trying to release into your life. That's why the battle often begins in the mind. That's why doubt whispers louder when you're on the verge of breakthrough. But boldness silences that voice. It says, even if I feel unqualified, I trust that God qualifies me. It says, even if I can't see the full picture, I know the one who holds it. A bold mindset doesn't mean you'll never feel fear. It means you choose to act anyway. It means you get up when life knocks you down. It means you keep showing up, keep believing, keep praying, keep building, even when the evidence hasn't caught up with the vision. You become consistent, not because everything is easy, but because you are convinced that something greater is coming. Boldness keeps you moving. It keeps you expecting. It keeps you ready. You can't afford to walk into this next season with a passive mindset. This is not the time for hesitation or second guessing. You've waited, you've endured, you've grown. Now it's time to believe fully and fiercely that what God promised you is real and it's coming.